it's Barb Fecto. A senior data analyst from Dade City, Florida, Julana Cotter. And a librarian from Laguna Beach, California, Nicole Gould. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Tim Jennings.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and welcome to our third and final two-day total point affair in our Season 37 Second Chance competition. Our finalists, Michal, Julana, and Barb, are competing for $35,000, the prize for this week's winner. But more importantly, they're battling for a spot in our Champions Wildcard competition coming up next month. Good luck to all three of you. Let's begin the finals. Here are your categories in the first round. We have some beastly literary characters, then Marvel villains, also beastly, natural biology, soul food, note the spelling, people who need people, and finally, new words in the 1600s. Michal, you begin.
I'll begin with beastly literary characters for 200.
In the original Pinocchio story, the guy given this name in the movie is just called the Talking Cricket. Julana.
Who is Jiminy Cricket?
Right.
I will take beastly literary characters for 800.
Polynesia is the parrot who teaches this title physician how to talk to the animals. Michal.
Who is Dr. Dolittle?
Correct.
Beastly literary characters for 400.
In a tale by Beatrix Potter, Tom Thumb and Hunca Munca are two bad these rodents. Barb.
What are two bad rabbits?
No, I'm sorry. Julana.
What are two bad mice?
Mice, that's correct.
Beastly literary characters for 600, please.
She is Harry Potter's pet owl and airmail delivery system. Julana.
Who is Hedwig?
One more time.
Who is Hedwig?
That's correct.
Beastly literary characters for 1,000.
The answer there is the Daily Double in the round. You've got a lead, Julana. Will you protect it or risk big?
Well, I'd like to make it a true daily double.
Okay, 1,200 on the line in beastly literary characters. The title character of this 19th century tale had a pretty white star on my forehead. I was thought very handsome.
Who is Black Beauty?
You're correct. You have $2,400.
Well done.
5 categories left.
I will take people who need people for 600.
The name of this type of massage from Japan means finger pressure. Julana.
What is shiatsu?
Yeah.
People who need people for 800.
2-word term for the type of massage that targets muscle layers further below the skin than usual. Barb.
What is subdermal?
No. Julana.
What is deep tissue?
That's correct.
People who need people for 1,000.
On-site massage is also called this type, which comes from the Latin for body and can mean relating to a large company. Julana.
What is corporate?
Yeah.
People who need people for 400.
Focusing on stimulating this part of the body, Eunice Ingham developed the concept of reflexology. Michal.
What is the nervous system?
No. Reflexology, that's the foot. Julana.
Soul food for 600.
Chimek is all the rage, a dish that pairs fried chicken with this potent potable. Perhaps a Busan lager. Barb.
What is beer?
Right.
Marvel villains, please, for 600.
Ironmonger was the villain in Iron Man. This similarly named guy was the baddie in Black Panther. Michal?
Who is Killmonger?
Correct.
People who need people 200.
Effleurage is a smooth two-handed stroke used in this national type of massage. Barb?
What is French?
No. Julana?
What is Swedish?
Swedish massage, good.
Soul food for 400.
Bibimbap is a mixture of foods served with one of these on top, usually sunny side up. Barb?
What is an egg?
Correct.
Natural biology for 600, please.
From the Latin for to carry, it's the time period between conception and birth.
What
Michal?
is gestation?
That's the term.
Soul food for 200.
The International House of These doesn't serve hodok, a deliciously sweet type of one. Barb?
What is a pancake?
It is a Korean pancake. Yes, you get very close to Back in the Black, but I'm going to have to stop you for a second because it's time for a commercial break. But we'll come right back. More Jeopardy coming your way after this. Massachusetts is a high school librarian. In fact, 2 of our 3 finalists are high school librarians, Barb, what's your secret? Way to go, librarians, right?
Well, I think that we're like the Swiss Army knife of educators. You can plug us in anywhere. We're good for a lot of jobs. I will urge every superintendent in America, get some school librarians in your district. I'm a huge proponent.
That's right. Don't defund your libraries. We need our librarians. I beg you. Well done, Barb, and with Michal as well. Thank you for doing what you do. Jelana Cotter is a senior data analyst from Dade City, Florida. You've been watching Jeopardy pretty much your whole life, right?
Yes, that's right. So my mother is a huge Jeopardy fan and also hopeful contestant, maybe. And so I watched it with her as a small child, and when I was a toddler and just learning how to talk, I used to call it Buppity.
Buppity?
Yes.
And you've got a second-generation Jeopardy
Yes.
fan on the way, right?
Yes.
Are you think you'll call it Buppity in your house as well?
I hope so. So I plan to watch it with the baby.
Feel free to call it Buppity during the show. Try it out. Michal Gould from Laguna Beach, also a high school librarian, as I mentioned. Now, when you got the call that you were going to come back to the Alex Trebek stage, it must have been a surprise. Did you prepare anew?
So I have a few new hobbies. I'm hoping that maybe they'll help me. I would say actually more than a hobby, I've been studying American Sign Language for the last 2 to 3 years. I'm really passionate about it. So I'm about to start taking my first interpreting classes.
That's fantastic. My kid is studying ASL as well. I hope it works out for you on the show today. We'll see if we have any sign language material. But right now, it's Barb's turn to select. Everybody pick up your buzzers and let's get back to it.
New words in the 1600s for 600, please.
Good news. No longer need we say shedding its leaves at the end of its growing season. Herewith, a word for that. The new 17th century word for that would be deciduous. Barb?
Ooh, yikes. 800, new words in the 1600s, please.
From the zesty Italian tongue cometh this word for a large plush residence. Someday methinks it will have its own pants. Barb?
What is palazzo?
That's right.
1,000, please. New words in the 1600s.
My anatomist doth dub it the hip bone basin, but I must inform him that it is now known by this word of 6 letters. Michal,
It's the pelvis.
you got it.
New words in the 1600s, 200.
What sayest thee? Dost thou mean this thing whereon beads are slid for counting? Michal,
What is an abacus?
correct.
New words for 400.
The striped and brindled coat of yon cat now hath its own name, this. Michal,
What is tabby?
tabby is right.
Okay, soul food for 800.
The Korean dish known as army stew contains some of this canned meat, made ubiquitous by Hormel. Michal,
What is spam?
right.
Soul food for 1,000.
B is for this Korean staple, barbecued, often with garlic and ginger. Barb,
What is bulgogi?
good for 1,000.
Marvel villains for 800, please.
He was a good bird man, but in Homecoming, he preyed upon Spider-Man. Barb,
Who is Michael Keaton?
right.
Marvel villains for 1,000.
On Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio plays this foe, who sounds like he'd be at home in a bowling alley. Michal,
Who is tenpin?
I'm sorry, no. Jelana or Barb? So close, Michal. Kingpin. He's the kingpin of crime. Barb, back to you.
Marvel villains for 400, please.
This actor seems bad at the outset of Deadpool 2, but there was no question about his alignment in Infinity War. Michal,
Who is Brolin?
you got it.
Marvel villains, 200.
Sort of like Hercules, the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have to fend off this evil organization. They battle Hydra. Michal?
Natural biology for 200.
Arterioles are a link between arteries and these fine blood vessels. Barb?
What are capillaries?
Yes.
400, natural biology, please.
It's often a warning when this tuft or plume on a cockatoo's head stands up. Jelana?
What is a comb?
I'm sorry, no. Oh, we will take that. Yes. Yes, the crest or comb is correct. Select.
Natural biology for 1,000.
This material, such as your stapes, is formed by ossification. Jelana?
What is bone?
That's right. And the final clue in that category? The chelae on arthropods are these, and it may make them crabby if you mess with them. Barb?
What are claws or pincers?
That's correct. Claws or pincers takes you to 3,400. You're tied with Michal for second place. The double Jeopardy round is up next. We'll be right back.